friends. Welcome back to Everyday Coffee Guide. I'm Maya Ellison. If you're making coffee right now, salute. If you're thinking about making coffee, also salute. Today, we're taking a relaxed, story-forward stroll through coffee, where it comes from, what roast levels actually mean, and the tiny, painless changes that make your morning cup feel like a small victory. And, of course, we're myth-busting. Jared, you ready?
Always. I'm Jared Kim, ex-barista, occasional workshop dad joke enthusiast, and today's resident coffee myth slayer. Let's make coffee feel like something you can enjoy, not a science exam.
Perfect. Quick story to set the scene. I survived years of terrible dorm drip-like stuff you could use as an etching medium. And then, sophomore year, a roommate brought home a bag of beans that actually smelled like caramel. One tiny upgrade, and suddenly, coffee didn't taste like punishment anymore. That's today's vibe. Tiny upgrades, huge returns.
Love that. I remember my first really good cup sat on a stoop and sole, steaming little paper cup, bright and floral, and I thought, oh, coffee isn't supposed to taste like burnt toast. It was a revelation. All right, let's take our listeners from cherry to cup.
Segment 1, from cherry to cup. Jared, give us the short, sweet version of where coffee actually comes from. Be vivid. Make me taste it.
Okay, picture a map with a warm, curving band around the middle of the planet, the coffee belt. That's where coffee plants thrive. Parts of Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Each region tends to produce different flavor personalities. Latin American coffees often lean toward chocolatey, nutty, and clean. African coffees, think Ethiopia and Kenya, can be bright, fruity, sometimes wine-like. Asian coffees, Indonesia for example, can be earthy, spicy, and heavy-bodied. But remember, those are broad strokes.
I like that. Coffee as a personality sketch. What about the cherry? Because I think listeners picture like a red berry or something.
Exactly. The coffee fruit is called a cherry. Inside that cherry are two seeds. Those are your beans. Sometimes single seeds show up and we call them pea berries. After picking, the cherries go through processing. Washed or natural are the big, simple categories. Washed processing removes the fruit before drying, so the coffee tends to taste cleaner and brighter. Natural processing dries the coffee with the fruit on, so it ferments a little and can produce fruitier, sometimes more jammy flavors.
So one bean's journey, picked in the morning, dried or washed, shipped across oceans, roasted, ground, brewed. It's like this long little life that ends in my mug.
Exactly. Imagine a single cherry, hand-picked on a farm, bundled on a truck, dried on sun patios, then shipped, sorted, roasted. Every step leaves a fingerprint. The journey is long, and every decision along the way changes the taste.
Segment 2, roast levels. Explain them without the jargon. Jarrett, you're on stage.
Roasting's basically heating beans until they transform. Think of popcorn, but Italian. At first, the beans dry, then sugars caramelize, and you hear the first crack. That's the beans expanding. Lighter roasts stop earlier. They keep more of the brightness and origin flavors, floral, fruity notes. Medium roasts hit a sweet spot, balanced, sweeter, more of that familiar cafe taste. Dark roasts go further. Oils surface, sugars burn a bit, and you get smoky, roasty, chocolatey, or even charred notes. Taste-wise, light equals brighter and more acidic. Medium equals balanced. Dark equals roasty and bold.
People always ask, does dark roast have more caffeine? I feel like we should stomp on that myth.
Short answer, no, not really. Dark roasts can taste stronger because of the roast flavor, but caffeine changes very little. By volume, lighter beans are denser, so if you measure by scoops, you might get more caffeine from light roast. But for day-to-day drinking, it's negligible. Pick by flavor you like, not by caffeine myths.
Good to know. So if I like dark chocolate versus milk chocolate, that helps me pick a roast?
Exactly. If you like bright, tangy flavors, go lighter. If you like classic cafe comfort, go medium. If you like bold, smoky flavors, go dark. Simple, practical.
Okay, now the part I love. Brew better at home with what you already have. Jared, hit us with the 3 big levers.
3 big levers that matter more than fancy gear: coffee to water ratio, grind size, and water temperature. Ratio controls strength. Grind size affects extraction. Too fine and coffee over-extracts and tastes bitter. Too coarse and it's under-extracted and tastes weak. Water temp, aim for just under boiling, about 195 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a thermometer, boil, then let the kettle sit 30 seconds before pouring.
Give us a spoon rule. People love spoon rules.
All right, practical spoon rule. 2 level tablespoons of coffee per 6 ounces of water is a good starting point. If you like it stronger, add half a tablespoon. If you have a scale, aim for about a 1 to 15 to 1 to 17 ratio by weight, 1 gram of coffee to 15 to 17 grams of water. But most listeners live by spoons, and that's okay.
And grind for common methods, quick tips, because listeners will ask. Trust me.
Sure, for drip machines, medium grind, like sea salt. French press, coarse, like breadcrumbs. Espresso, very fine, like powdered sugar, though home espresso machines vary. For pod machines, use the pod size they recommend, but if you're trying to improve pod-based coffee, use fresh water, preheat the cup, and descale regularly. If you buy pre-ground coffee, buy a grind labeled for your method. Don't use espresso ground coffee in a French press. It'll be messy and over-extracted.
Tiny, high-impact tips. Pre-wet your paper filter to remove that paper taste, and preheat your mug with hot water to keep your coffee warmer longer. Anything else super simple?
Store beans away from light, heat, and moisture. Airtight container in a cupboard is fine. And don't keep them in the fridge unless you buy in bulk and freeze a single unopened portion. Then thaw it fully before opening. Also, clean equipment. Old oils make coffee taste stale. Run a vinegar cycle on your drip machine once a month if you use it a lot.
Short tip? Let the kettle sit 30 seconds after boiling. That little half minute can be life-changing.
So true. Also, if you have a French press and feel fancy, bloom your grounds. Pour a little water, let it sit 30 seconds to degas, then pour the rest. It helps even extraction.
Now, quick global coffee culture tour. I love this. Give listeners something to try as a tiny ritual.
All right, Italy. Espresso at the bar, stand up, quick, intense, social. Takeaway, try a small, strong shot, sip it like a moment. Turkey. Turkish coffee is finely ground, brewed unfiltered with sugar, often spiced with cardamom. Grounds settle at the bottom, and sometimes people read fortunes. Ethiopia, the coffee ceremony is slow roasting beans in front of guests, pouring from a jabena. Takeaway, slow 1 cup intentionally. Latin cultures, café con leche, equal parts coffee and steamed milk, often a breakfast hug. Try making a milkier cup at home to slow down with breakfast.
Those little rituals make coffee feel like more than caffeine, like a small celebration.
Exactly. Coffee as a ritual is available to everyone. It's not about expensive machines. It's about intention.
All right, ramping up. Myth-busting lightning round. Rapid fire. Jared, are you ready?
Let's go. Throw 'em at me.
Myth 1. Dark roast has way more caffeine.
Myth busted. Roast doesn't dramatically change caffeine. Measure by weight, light roasted beans can have slightly more caffeine. Measure by scoop, dark might feel stronger because of flavor. But for the everyday drinker, it's not a caffeine switch.
Myth 2. Espresso beans are a different kind of bean?
Mostly false. Espresso refers to brewing method and roast profile. You can roast any coffee for espresso, though blends are common because they create a flavor profile that stands up to milk. It's about roast and grind, not a secret species of bean.
Myth 3. Coffee stunts your growth.
Completely false. That one's ancient cafeteria lore. No credible research supports it. It can affect sleep and jitteriness, of course, so moderation for kids and teens, but it doesn't stunt growth.
Myth 4. Freezing beans always ruins them.
Sort of. Freezing whole beans in an airtight container can preserve freshness if you buy in large quantities, but daily thawing and refreezing is the problem. For most people who buy beans for a week or two, keep them in a cool, dark cupboard.
Short one. Decaf is just coffee with something added? True or false?
False. Decaf has the caffeine removed through processes like water processing, Swiss water, or solvents. The flavor can be surprisingly good now, especially if you choose quality decaf.
Nice. Okay, try this with your next cup. Give listeners a small experiment for the week.
Nice. Okay, try this with your next cup. Give listeners a small experiment for the week. 3 easy experiments. Pick one. Experiment A. Try a roast you don't usually buy. If you're a dark roast lover, try a medium or light. Notice the fruit and brightness. Experiment B. Adjust your spoon ratio. Try 2 level tablespoons per 6 ounces. Or, if you're already doing that, add half a tablespoon and compare. Experiment C. Add a small ritual. Preheat your mug, bloom your grounds, or stand for a minute and just sip without scrolling your phone. Pick one and stick with it for a week.
I love that. And listeners, send us your results. Snap a pic, tell us your experiment, or just tell us if your roommate judged you for boiling the kettle for 30 seconds and then sipping like a tea monk. We want to hear it.
Also, if anyone wants a super basic shopping list, medium roast whole beans, airtight container, a simple kettle, and either a basic grinder or pre-ground labeled for your method. You can get a really good day-to-day cup with just that.
Before we sign off, Jared, what's one tiny thing you wish everyone knew that would instantly make their coffee better?
Clean your equipment. It's so underrated. Old oils and mineral buildup make fresh beans taste flat or rancid. A little cleaning, filters, carafes, portafilters, makes a noticeable difference, like brushing your teeth for your coffee.
Love that. Mine's slow down. 1 cup this week. Sit down. No rush. It's surprising how much better coffee tastes when you're actually present for it.
Yes, coffee is a tiny ritual that rewards attention.
All right, recap in less than 60 seconds. Coffee comes from the coffee belt, processing and region shape flavor, roast levels, light, medium, dark, choose by taste, 3 levers, ratio, grind, temperature, tweak those with simple rules of thumb, try a cultural ritual at home, and myth bust when someone tells you dark roast equals more caffeine.
And the practical checklist. 2 tablespoons per 6 ounces. Let boiled water sit 30 seconds. Store beans away from light and moisture. Pre-wet filters. Clean equipment monthly. And experiment with a roast you don't usually try.
We promised a preview of next time. Thinking espresso basics, dialing in at home without breaking the bank, and, if we get listener questions, decaf myths. Jared, are you in?
Absolutely. I've got affordable tips and a few barista shortcuts that don't waste beans. Also, I will bring a terrible espresso pun.
I can't wait. Final sign-off. Try one tiny change this week. Take note and tell us how it went. Slide into our DMs, send a voice note, or email, whatever's easiest. We'll read your favorite stories on the show.
Thanks for joining us. Make a cup you like, and if someone offers you terrible coffee, offer them advice, not death. Be kind.
Pin to that, kindness. Coffee's for people. See you next week. This has been Everyday Coffee Guide with Maya and Jared. Drink well. Bye.